Hey everybody, how you doing? カイ先輩なんですけれども、We are live. Thank you for coming so much. 英語で失礼しますね。だってこれ英会話の悟りだからね。英語で話した方がいいんじゃないかなと思って、I think it's time that we switch gears here. And I wanted to say hi before we get started. Basically, today is going to be a light day. It's a long story. I'm working on a lot of things and I just don't have a lot of time today. But because of, how do you say, my beliefs, I want to be able to share something with you guys. And that is this same lesson that I've been sharing every single week with you guys. Because basically, it comes down to dedication. And for you, as somebody that wants to talk, doing this every single day is like one of the most important things that you can possibly do. And the longer you do it, the better, So 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right? Oh my gosh, an hour. 2 hours. Can you imagine just like speaking English for 2 hours every single day? It's a lot of time, right? But then imagine 3 hours. Imagine 4 hours of just blah, 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 blah. But welcome to, my world. A lot of people's world, actually. I know a lot of you speak Japanese all day, and that makes sense. I get it. I mean, when everybody else does, you kind of just follow suit, right? But, this kind of like, you want to speak English no matter what kind of feeling, right? And you don't need anybody to really help you. You know what I mean? Everything that you got to do is kind of like a mental game that you should be playing with yourself first. You can invite other people to play this game with you. Obviously, we're not going to be doing everything by ourselves, but you got to get ready before you get out there and have some conversations. I understand that. But really, one of the key things before anybody goes anywhere, thinks about anything, we're thinking about time or what do we study, who do we talk to, whatever. The essential starting point, more than just like, I got to speak English or like, I got to find a video or find a person, right? You really got to focus on the sounds, that you're listening to. And it takes a lot of time. This is kind of where I'm going with all of this, because if you're just studying once a day, 10-minute video, 20-minute, 30-minute video, like I said, an hour, right? You can do more. It's one of those things. It's like, I don't know how else to explain it, but basically you should be trying all day, basically, to really achieve your goals. And if your goal is to get out there and kind of go blah, 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 and talk to people, well, then you got to put in the time now. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we all want to go out there and like meet people, talk to people, have a good time. But all the preparation that goes into like before you go out, right, starts with one thing. And that one thing right here is right there. Listen, you got to listen. You really got to listen, and you got to do a lot of it, more than just 10 minutes, more than just an hour. I mean, really 10 hours a day is healthy. Especially in the beginning, right? I don't speak Japanese 10 hours a day anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. But I don't feel guilty. I mean, like, I miss speaking Japanese, but I don't feel guilty because it's still here. Because I studied so thoroughly at the beginning and, listening to Japanese 10 hours a day, it went in and it stayed. I'm not worried, right? But if you have this worry about your English, right? Like, oh, what do I do? What should I do? Who should I talk to? How should I do it? What should I watch, right? Well, just let me just say straight up, listening for like 10 hours a day is your goal. Because I don't know, that's what people that speak English do. They just do it all day, right? So in the beginning, it's hard because, you got to consciously listen, which is a little more difficult than just listening to your native language. And of course, I can explain everything in Japanese to you guys, but I need you guys to go through the pain of listening to somebody that's talking normally because, sorry, this is just reality, like this isn't a lesson in the sense that like I want everybody to graduate from school, and giving everybody the opportunity to have a conversation is kind of why I want to do this live stream, right? But today I will not be having guests on. Sorry if anybody wanted to hop on and talk with me today. I'm not going to do it because I don't have a lot of time, one, but then two, I'm so busy thinking about everything else that there's a lot going on with my channel, and I am dedicating, my career or whatever to like, getting this message out, right? That you got to listen to people, blah, blah, blah. I don't have to keep doing this every single day. You know what I mean? Because like for when you become a YouTuber and and you make something good, right? Like 1 million people can watch it. Now, I don't expect 1 million people on the live stream here. Hey guys, how you doing? But still, it's like, 100 people, 1,000 people that, that's really powerful stuff. And doing it every day for me feels like a little overkill. So, I'm trying to like balance out the, おはようございます。すみません。チャットが開いてなかったね。青さんね。青さん会いましょう。違うか。Sorry. See, do you see how like the Japanese is in my head and once it starts, I can't stop, right? So, where were we? Oh yeah, it was with the time. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to be talking with everybody today. I'm sorry, but you guys got to dedicate yourself. So it's like you can watch something else. There's plenty of channels to watch. There's plenty of things to do, right? So even if I'm not here, you guys are fine. I know you want to talk to me. I know. But for me, I still have to dedicate, my time to you guys and building the channel, making content that you like. It's a full-time job. And so I'm just kind of busy doing a setup on something, and then hopefully next week we can do a chat session together, and I'll share the link, and then we can do a Zoom, because I do want I do want you to listen, and it just doesn't really work when it's like me monologuing the whole time. It's like, okay, this is just becoming another lesson. So to me, that's boring. I prefer the challenge of, I don't know, being able to talk with you guys, and giving you the chance to, because I don't know how many other, YouTubers are doing this like live stream where they invite people to come on. And not just like famous people, but like normal people, like you guys. To me, that's more helpful and impactful in a way, because like, who cares about famous people in the sense that they're rich, they can afford a teacher, they can afford another book, they can afford to fly to America, New York, or Australia whenever they want. They can, you know what I mean? It's like, we don't need to defend them. We can still appreciate them and we can still critique them, I think. But what's more powerful is, really getting all of you guys to really get into how to learn a second language. And this, this is why I say all these things so many times, but, first step is you got to listen. So here we are, just warming up, listening a little bit. And then V just says, you're absolutely right that we should expose ourselves to English throughout the day, but it's quite tough for working adults to find enough time for that. Yeah, I know the feeling, and it's just like anything else in life. I remember when I was first starting my YouTube channel, like taking it seriously, I still had like a part-time job, and you can't do two things at one time. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you can drive. Like, I was doing a driving job because I'm pretty good at driving. I used to be a limousine driver back in college, but anyway, so I wanted to build my channel, but I also had to work at the same time. So I could not do both unless I brought the camera into the car. So there's like maybe like a video or two, if you look back in the past, where I was like driving around talking to people, and it was kind of fun, but the videos didn't get really popular. So I didn't want to like spend a lot of time doing it. But yeah, how do you combine both? And that is the challenge. It is hard, but there is a solution. It definitely, one of the things that I don't want to say it's like a lesson or whatever, because I listen to a lot of YouTubers talk about like how to get better at YouTube, because I'm learning too. I all of this, like I learned how to do it, right? So I have teachers as well, but one of the YouTubers was saying something like, if you have a job, you know, you have your 9 to 5, then you got to worry about your 5 to 9. And so that's basically your after hours, your after work. How are you spending the time efficiently? And so you may not be able to use English during work, and it is what it is. So what can you do from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock? You know, you're not home yet, but you have some free time. Maybe you can go to a cafe and do something. Maybe, you know, you can just take a walk around in your city and like say hi to people, see how they're doing. Honestly, if I lived in Japan, I used to, I saw English speakers every fucking day. You know what I mean? Like every day. And this is Tokyo, so I'm aware that other cities, you don't see foreigners that often, depending on the city, obviously. But where I was, every day, you could just walk up to any foreigner, I could, and you just be like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Why are you in this neighborhood? You know, and they would talk to me 100% of the time. Even I remember one guy in Kyoto, he was kind of weird. He was from Texas, kind of antisocial, but he was nice. He didn't like run away from me. You know what I mean? But he's still weird. So, but anyway, like, it's like 100%, like most English speakers living in Japan will be happy to talk to you if you approach them in the right way and you present yourself in the right way. So, you know, I get it. While you're at work, it's hard, but the after hours, like I said, the 5 to 9, there's a lot of opportunities in the big cities. So it's like, hey, go out of your way, go to, I don't know, there's like a beer place in like Sangenjaya that like does craft beer. Like go there. A lot of like my buddies hang out there. Go say hi to them, you know, like you just have to go out of your way basically. Unless you just want to go home and just do the internet thing. But that's kind of like the paradox of all this, is that like me personally, I didn't learn Japanese on the internet. So it's kind of hard for me to recommend learning English on the internet when I don't really do that. You know what I mean? So what I do know is that actual conversation is going to be way better than watching any video. So, you know, listening is like the first step, but it is okay. Like, of course you need to, but you need to go to the next level. And that next level is to mimic. And that's why, you know, you can listen to a few things like this and maybe get some kind of like value out of it, because everything that I'm saying now becomes kind of like a lesson for you guys, and then you guys can just kind of mimic it, you know? And so then you really become, what's the word now? More attuned to accent when you pay attention to mimicking. So that's obviously the next step in this. But like I said, it's hard to talk alone, and I get it. And that's why I want to present myself here in these live streams to give you guys a chance, to really open your vocal cords up, your mouth, and, stretch your vocal cords so you can really practice and polish this, right? But all of this takes place during the conversation, right? Not during the video, not even right now. Really, it's all about like having the conversation. That is basically it. And so I see myself kind of as like this, I don't want to say like last boss, but I see myself as kind of like giving you guys like a test, I guess. And that test is, do you want to have a conversation? Yes or no? I mean, it's really that basic. And if you do, then great. Like literally super great, because that's what you need to do, and you should totally do it. I'm actually trying to set up my the Zoom, but like I said, there's things going on with it that are very annoying, to say the least. So I'm going to X out of it. I'm just going to put up the link just for a second, and maybe one of you guys will jump in on it. If not, that's fine. Like I said, I don't have a lot of time today, so I don't want to get caught up in like waiting for somebody. Although, it is fun when I do talk to you guys. It's just the time thing today. So I don't want to get all caught up in it. And one of the big problems is that I really do start talking to you when you talk to me on the thing. So it's like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. It's like an hour, 2 hours. Time starts to fly when we start having a conversation. So I want to balance it out more. I want to create an opportunity for more people to jump on and to actually participate. And computer audio, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do the, there we go, Shure mic. That's what I wanted to do. And, come here, Shure mic, audio testings, test mic, recording. All right. So we're going to open this up to everybody. There we go. Test, check. All right. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put out the Zoom link for everybody. Oh, come on. Select audio. Who's saying yes? Oh, there we go. Boom. All right. We're good. Because if anybody remembers, like 2 weeks ago, I set up the Zoom, and it was... the Zoom kind of broke on me. So hopefully today will not do that. Here we go. And let's see here. Copy the invite link. And then finding the live stream is my next challenge. But I am about to invite you guys here to have a conversation with me. Hopefully you want to. Enjoy the interaction here. And if you don't, that's fine. You can watch, I guess, but isn't it funner if like you actually join the conversation? So, where is it? Here it is. So here's the link. If you press the link, then you will join the conversation here, and I'm going to pin that message so everybody sees it. All right, cool. So we got that going on. Let me go back to my software, this new software that I'm learning. So I switch back and forth between things. So yeah, I set up the Zoom room, and if you guys want to join, then just click the Zoom thing. And all right, so are we back? This, I swear to God, this software is a challenge indeed, but everybody should be back. We got everything set up. It looks like I'm back. Cool. Wow, that was scary. So good. I have the link there. That means that anybody that hits the link can join the Zoom room. And if you come into the Zoom room, you know what's going to happen? I'm just going to listen, and we're going to talk about things. Now, things that we're going to be talking about is really anything that you want, but it would be nice if we focused on some of the practical stuff. I mean, sure, we can just talk about anything, but kind of like as a keep it constructive for everybody here. It's good to talk about learning strategies and stuff like that, or how to learn or how to get better. Oh, look at my camera. Why is it so weird? Can you see how I kind of look like the thing is kind of, there we go. Is there enough light? No, it's got plenty of light in here. I swear this software is so fun in the sense that like there's something new every single week that pops up. Like, wow, it's like I'm disappearing. You see all that kind of fuzz in me? Crazy. But anyway, having the conversation, we hop on, and these are the things you got to, look for, pay attention to. It's like the listening, the mimicking, the polishing, the conversation. But what are you going to say? What are you going to talk about? And it really depends on your level, doesn't it? Right? Like if there's things that you got to work on, like simple stuff, basic stuff, fundamental stuff that everybody needs to do. And even if you're an adult, there's no problem with like reviewing the basics, right? But if you got to work on the basics, then you got to work on the basics, and that's not a problem. So you should do it. But like if you're really ready to have a conversation and it's less about like the fundamentals, like pronunciation or intonation, but you're more concerned like how do I meet people or how do I talk about my business or something like that? Well, that's where a good conversation really comes in, because you got to know what to say, like you just don't randomly talk. When you talk to people, it's usually like understood patterns of human interaction, right? So, of course, maybe the rules are a little different in Japanese culture and like American culture, but then, the rules are different like in English culture and British culture, or whatever, because British culture and English culture is a little more complicated than just this or that, right? Like, anyway, I don't want to like confuse other people's culture, but I know my speaking style and my demeanor and the way you can go around town and just kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's a California thing, but like talking to people in your town or your neighborhood is a normal thing. And it's not strange. And it happens every day, like it or not, in a sense, So there is a big value in being surrounded by native speakers, right? But if you're not currently surrounded by native speakers, then you got to get out there and really surround yourself. Now, like I said, the computer thing is super convenient, like, and it's super cool and it's super magical. Like, look at me, like I can like switch these things around and have these conversations with, dozens of people at the same time. So obviously the computers have a benefit, right? Like if you're using your phone, it has a benefit. Like, hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes, right? Or I don't know, like why people use their phone, but there's certain uses. But conversation, I just want to do it on a normal basis. Like if I want to talk to a friend, I meet them, and, sometimes like I've wanted to see a friend and like I'll like fly up to Canada just to hang out and have some fun, you know? So if you want to see somebody, you get out there and you see them, you know, you meet them in reality. Now, if you don't know anybody, that just becomes another conversation to have of like, well, how do you get out there so you can, you know, listen to people, mimic, polish, have conversations on a regular basis, right? So again, all of this to say that I am putting out the Zoom link. It should be available for anybody that wants to click it. And if you click it, you'll join the Zoom room and you'll come on live here to the live stream. So I guess what it really comes down to, are you ready? Because if you're not ready, then you should do some more training, you know, like what else are you going to do, right? And that's where all I can say is that if you're serious about like studying the fundamentals of English, then you should really do it, you know, and you don't have to have a conversation just to study the fundamentals, you know. So if you're not ready to have a public conversation, then I highly recommend that you check out that video right there, that my 3-step seminar there. Because if you're not ready today, and it's 2025, right? It's Reiwa Jidai, right? And you've been studying English for over 3 months or 6 months. Let's just say 6 months, right? And you're still not comfortable with a conversation in public, then I highly recommend that you watch that video that I just shared, the 3-step video, because it's going to tell you everything that you need to know moving forward. Ultimately, it comes down to how you study. And if you choose to study with one style, right, that style that you chose might not be effective. Now, maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. Because in my school of thought, basically anybody can become conversational in about 6 months if you do the right things. And that's why I have like this little 4-step thing here, the 4 gears, right? Because these are the only things that you need to be doing every single day. Anything that we want to talk about is basically contained in these 4 gears, right? Because when you listen, what are you going to listen to? Well, you're going to be listening to accent, and that is a whole rabbit hole, right? Because we got the American accent, we got the British accent, we got the Australian accent. So, native English というジャンルがないってば。You gotta choose, you know? So, and it's complicated. And it's not just like, oh, I'm speaking American, but it's like, no, I'm speaking Californian. So you got to really get deep with just like one accent, right? And then 2, the mimicking thing. This is just another thing that like nobody really properly explains. And it's so frustrating because it's like, oh, I'm going to study English, so I'm going to start writing things. And it's just like, no, you're never going to get better if you do that. So don't, like literally don't. That kind of like reading and writing kind of studying like is like, yeah, when you're in junior high school, yeah, sure. But I remember at the teaching at the school, it's just like, dude, we're all adults. What are we doing here? You know, why do we have a textbook? A textbook? What do you? Okay, I digress. Everybody else has their own little thing, but like their own way of doing it. But if you're not getting results from the way that you do it, perhaps you should reconsider the way that you study, which is why I have these 4 gears. So you reconsider how you do this, right? And then the key thing here with the polishing is basically you don't gotta learn everything. You only gotta learn the things that you're gonna use in the conversation. So there's like thousands of words in English. Oh my God, I'm going to fail the test. It's like, no, what are you going to say today? Like if you go out in Tokyo and he sees somebody that speaks English, what are the 5 words that you need to know in order to start a conversation? And that's it. The only thing that you need to polish, listen for, mimic, get better, and have a conversation is how to start that conversation. And then if you can successfully start a conversation, well, what are you going to say next? Well, I don't know. You don't know until you actually have a conversation with somebody, and then you'll know what you want to say. So really, the carrot that kind of like motivates you is the conversation itself, because in that conversation, when you don't know what to do, that's exactly when you know what you want to do or what you want to say. So you must have a conversation in order to know what to study. So when you work on your English, right, you don't study anything that you're not using in reality. Just study the words you're going to use today, to study the words you're going to use tomorrow. That's it. And if you do that, you could, if you're working, I swear, okay, so I don't speak perfect Japanese, right? 違うか. And then every once in a while, I'll try to explain something new, and I'll be like, oh, wait, it's kind of like this. Even for example, I'm always trying to think of a witty, how do you say, headline for a video, right? Witty, kind of smart, or provocative, you know what I mean? Oh, well, what's this, right? So I'm always thinking about that. 英会話の悟りってどうですかね。喋り言葉英語ネイティブのね、英語を解読するって、解読っていう単語分かんなかったのね。英語で考えると、unlock だよね。だって英語で考えてたんだね。そう、unlock native English, right? でも日本にすると、unlock ってなんだっけ？だってドアを鍵じゃない鍵閉めるって違うやろうね。解読っていう単語ね。だって辞書検索して、だから分かんないときもう辞書でいいんじゃないのって感じね。AI とかね。No, just look it up in a dictionary. That's all you gotta do. And then you learn it. ほら、解読っていう単語をもう意識してるから、使えるじゃん。誰かと喋りながら、ほら、今喋ってるじゃん、君と。じゃあ解読しませんか？英語ネイティブの話し言葉英語なんだっけ？そちらの動画があるからね。よかったらそれご覧くださいね。だって、今日英語で話す勇気がなかったらね、もうじゃあ準備してくださいって感じですね。いつか会話するため、いろいろしっかりしますみたいな自分に約束してくださいね。なんだろうね。こうやって、パブリックで誰かと英語で話す勇気がなかったらね、じゃあ勉強しかないんじゃない？勉強方法しかないんじゃない？これからって。もし誰かといつか喋れるようになりたかったらね、会話、ペラペラって感じですね。そういう人になりたかったらね、今準備しないと、なんだろうね。でも正しい準備しないと上達しませんね。それがもうどうしてもなんだろうね、同じ話が繰り返してるって感じですけれども、いや、でも、バイリンガル目線から言ってますね。で、君がまだバイリンガルになってなかったら、わかんないじゃん。これからどうすればいい。で、バイリンガルになった人に、もう、ねえねえ、みたいな、厚英語さん、どうやって勉強したのみたいなね。で、厚英語にそういう質問しても全然大丈夫と思うんですよ。勉強方法に関してね。でも結局、勉強方法決まってから、なんだろうね。もう聞いたり喋ったりしないと何にも上達しないんじゃん。ね。だから教科書、なんだろうね。100冊、100年
読んでも合ってる日本語意味ない。ね。英語で喋りたかったらね、話すことと、話す英語と、読む英語が違うからね。違う次元じゃん。だって、話す方が見えないんじゃない？何にも。音だから、音楽だから。だから読んだり書いたりすると、全く意味ない。ね。ない。書く文字って自分にメモって感じ。それだけなのね。なんだっけみたいな気持ちで。そっか。だってさ、今、解読って言ったじゃない？ほんまに、その解読っていう単語を知らんかったの。わからんかったの。それで、解読って、なんだっけ？だって、ヘッドラインにしたから、で、全然言わないで、コピーペーストして、ね。合ってるんじゃない？でもなんて言うんだっけみたいな。音だからさ、話すと、解読、振り仮名があったからさ。で解読、英語ネイティブ解読しませんか？声磨くということですね。だから同じように、君の磨きたいことは何だっけみたいなね。何を磨きたいって。だから、人に挨拶するときの、それ磨きたい？それとも、なんだろうね。仕事のアピール？インベスター探してるか？応援者探してるか？それかなんか英語でセールスとかマーケティング？それかなんかロマンチックのパートナー探してるか？目標は何だろうねって感じですね。もうそれが君の目標ですね。俺の目標じゃなんて言う？これ、日本語で考えてるんですけれども、君の目標は何でもいいよね。俺の目標は、君の目標につくためにこうやっていろいろ言ってるんですね。大丈夫？俺の日本語大丈夫？わさびとる違うか。それ英語わさびとるか。Anyway, I don't want to digress too much into Japanese because what's it going to do for you if I talk Japanese? Oh, I understood what he said. Yeah, but what about now? You know, this is the point. It's always the point. And this is the offer is that I come and I reach out to you guys and I give you the option. I give you the choice. And if you look over at the chat and you'll be like, okay, we've got two things right there. We got, you can chat with me or you can study a little more and watch that video, right? Ao-san says, I think British English is much easier for Japanese people because they always pronounce T and they can listen clearly more British accent than American, but they love American accent too. Yeah, it's really just a choice. And I do understand that it is easier to say certain things, like, would you like to go to the bar? Like a bar, right? Like a bar, right? R が言いにくいよね。イギリス英語の方が言いやすいかもわからないけど、that's just one style. And definitely, if you want to do it, then do it though. Like seriously, speak. I did meet somebody in Kyoto and she, one is 100% Japanese, but she had like a really thick, British accent and she lived in Germany, so like she was using it in the real world, but she had a really thick British accent and it was just like, why? She's like, oh, I just mimicked Jamie Oliver or something like that. And it's just like, oh, okay. So she had no reason to speak British because she was in Germany, she's in Japan. But the English that she chose to speak was just based on some famous cook or whatever. And that's like, wow, that's pretty amazing. But she really does have like a British accent. So you too, Ao-san, can speak with a British accent. No problem. Like, do it. Like, I mean, it really just depends because, California English is also kind of cool. But if it's harder to say, well, What are you going to do, right? Shinji, when I was in California, I had no problem speaking English with people. But when I went to other states like Nebraska, yeah, so I would say, Shinji, in my opinion, California people are just a little more understanding of various cultures. So in California, we have Vietnamese people, we have Korean people, we have people from Mexico, Central America, South America, right? We've got Russians, we've got Cambodian people, there's a lot of Chinese people. I mean, there's areas where there's a lot of Thai people. So there's all these different kinds of people with all these different accents. And a lot of people in California just kind of like, well, okay, you have that. And they take the time and they listen. Maybe they're more used to it, right? But just kind of like in the same way, like if you go to Maizuru and you walk around Maizuru and there's no foreigners in Maizuru ね。逆に考えると、まあ、ネブラスカとかサウスカロライナ、日本人はあんまりいないんじゃないね。だから、そっち系の、一般人、アメリカ人、なんつってみたいな、聞いたことなくて、理解できないでしょ。だって日本人のカタカナ英語の発音がずれてるよね。ね、それもなんだろうね。いや、カタカナ英語でも通じればいいんじゃないみたいな。でもまあ、通じないとき多いですよ。ね。だからカタカナ英語をそのまま、話す意味がなくないって感じで、意識してもね、頑張って、じゃあアメリカ英語で話しますみたいなね。たんまに失敗するよね。それはしょうがない。ね。努力してるのに通じない。それは申し訳ない。ごめんって感じですね。なんか通じない。本当にもう日本人の英語が、まあなんだろうね。特にその母国語しかできない人に難しい。ね。なんか英語、なんかアメリカ人の母国語しかできない人ね。あんまりあちこち行ったことないから、なんだろうね。慣れてなくて、しょうがないよね、そういう人たちって。でもまあ、カリフォルニアの人がまあ、いろいろ聞いてるから、はい、そういうことね、なんかもうちょっと、なんで、思いやりかわからんけど、ね、はい、ちょっと違いがあるんだけどね。だから、まあ、シンジ、and this is like the hard thing. It's like, nobody's really self-conscious of their mistakes if they're making a mistake. And that's why I make so many videos when I review. And I'm just like, I'm telling you that there's so many small mistakes. You know, just imagine if you are doing math and 2 plus 2 equals 4, and then 5 times 7 equals 35. And then like you got to take the 35 plus the 7, and it's very specific, right? But if you do your math right, it's 100, right? 100%. Everything's right. When Japanese people go to have a conversation, there's so many mistakes that happen. Like the to the for example, or the O to the right? Like so many different like YouTubers always say like study abroad, right? And it's so subconscious that you just don't realize that you're saying certain things. I remember one of my students was like talking about his daughter, but it's not a daughter, it's a daughter. Like if you say daughter, I swear nobody will understand you. And by nobody, I mean most people, all right? Like obviously Californian people might be more able to understand something like daughter. But if you say daughter, right? Have you met my daughter? People will literally say, huh? What? So it's important to know how big the gap is between how everybody actually talks and like what you're saying, right? And this is the same problem that I had in Maizuru because everybody was teaching me like Hyojingo, right? And I'm like, oh, おはようございます。これから、何を召しに上がります。なんだっけな。だから、敬語とか、ね。敬語と、それ、なんだっけみたいなね。だって全然使ってないじゃん、俺。Nobody talk like that. ね。恐れ入りますみたいなですますね。みんな関西弁で喋っとるから、じゃあ俺も関西弁喋りたいっていう気持ちがあったんだよね。So, it's the same thing, guys. When I learned Japanese, there's the real way to talk, like everybody else, and then there's the school way to talk, like the official way, right? And same thing happens in English. You have the textbook and like, hey, what are you going to do today? I am learning English with Shinji at the live stream. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. みたいな喋り方。それは絶対もう人間らしくないから、そういう喋り方するとおかしい。おかしいっていうか、んってつるってるって感じがするよね。なんか変って感じですね。で、そういう喋り方してもいいんだけど、みんなと同じように喋ってもいいんじゃないって感じですね。もうアメリカ人みたいになんか話してみたら、まあ、イギリス英語でもいいんだよ。まあ、アメリカでイギリス英語で話すと、かっこいいと思うよ。なんか、何これ？なんか、イギリス英語で喋ってる日本人？しかもカリフォルニアにいる？誰？って感じになっちゃうんですね。かっこいい。多分逆に、もし君が日本人で、イギリス行っちゃって、like, so, I'm from like Japan? みたいな喋り方したら、なんかアメリカ人じゃないのって、なんか憧れじゃなくてちょっと、how do you say, like mysterious, like 謎々っていうか、まあ、憧れがあるって感じなんだろうね。How do you say that? But like you become interesting if you have an accent. Guys, I really cannot overemphasize everything that I say is in an accent. Everything that you say is in an accent. So, is your accent good? Well, I don't know. Do you understand what other people are saying? Do people understand you? And that's a really simple measure, right? And you're like, oh, I don't know. Well, then maybe you should talk to a professional, right? だから、カイ先輩と一緒に勉強したかったら、多分、俺の3ステップの方を見た方がいいですね。もし、話す自信がなかったらね、勇気がなかったらね。じゃあ、俺の3ステップからスタートしてください。で、3ステップ学習法を見てから、カイ先輩と一緒にプライベートレッスンの、誘いもありますし、まあ、グループレッスンもあるし、まあ、なんだろうね、パブリックで喋りたくない、後輩にね、どうぞ、ちょっとご覧くださいね。But, if you're like, no, I've had enough studying, I just need a little talking practice, then, well, basically, you can come on the Zoom. But, you only have about 10 more minutes because, like I said, today was going to be a light day. I only have time till 8 o'clock today. I am working on a lot of different things, and I'm super excited to talk about all the things that I'm working on, but it's kind of like just channel stuff and just being more optimized and things that I talk about when I talk about it. Because I don't know if you guys know, but my channel is all about English, but it's actually like more about like learning English. And so everybody sees the celebrities like, oh, you're just like doing celebrity stuff. And I was like, well, no, they're just providing examples of English. This is all about the English. And it's not really about are they a good person or like, are they a good actor or anything like that. It's just really like, oh, let's listen to the English and like, oh, you hear the difference? Or you hear this? You hear that? We learn so much by learning or by listening to all these celebrities, but they're not the point, right? They're just examples for me to show you guys, and you guys see them like, oh, wow, look at that guy. But the whole point of the live stream is to turn the question directed at you and go, what about you? How is your English? And let's be honest. Like, the feedback that you get from me is 100% honest, and it's 100%, so like 99% accurate, as best as I can, as best as I can, like, teach, But it's, what I'm going to tell you is honest, accurate, and useful. It's feedback. Because without feedback, you're flying in the dark. And without feedback and without a direction, you're just like going around in circles, just doing lessons and stuff. And that's why it's super important. Like one of the last lessons that I did, because I don't want you, if you do lessons with me, I don't want you to do lessons for like 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. I want to do 1 month with you because I want to get you in a place where you basically make more English speaking friends so that like you can go out and have a more daily interaction with people in English. That's my goal when I do a lesson. It's to really get you prepared to meet somebody so that you can really start learning. Like I look at like a lesson with me as kind of like a pivot from whatever style of thinking or studying, whatever you're doing now, and switching it more into like my sekaikan ne. Oh God, I can't believe it. I just code switch. 2 things about code switching, okay? Doing it mid-sentence because you don't know the word, それは良くない. But then I think that it's okay that if you can finish a sentence in English, then great. Period. それで、その英語の考えが終わっちゃってから日本語に、こうやって変化してもいい、交代しても全然大丈夫ですね。その言いたいことが終わってしまってから。And now we can switch back, right? But if you're going to go like, okay, how do I say, yeah, 解読だからね. So it's like, if you're switching in mid-sentence, right? So it's like, hey, I want you guys to like, 解読 English, right? Like, what? That, あれは良くないと思うね。その、日本語にやり直すじゃなくて、like, how do you say it? You gotta find like a simpler word. 解読が分かんなかったら、じゃあ解読ってあれ、じゃあ理解はどうですかみたいな。なんだろうね。だから、聞き取れるようになりたい。ほら、直接じゃなくてもいいって感じですね。もし何か分かんないって感じになっちゃって、じゃあもうちょっと言いやすい言い方を、言ってみたらって感じですね。話し言葉英語ネイティブの英語を聞き取れるようになりたい、喋れるようになりたい、まあ解読したい、ね、違うか。You just keep trying, right? And then one of them is going to stick, and then you go to the next part of the conversation. 大丈夫かな？なんかね、こうやってオファーしてね、You guys want to talk to カイ先輩？一緒に喋りたい後輩いるってもう分かってるんですけれども、I know you're shy, right? You're embarrassed, and I get it. So if you don't want to, fine. Then you got to go see the 3-step, okay? Ooh, then Shinji says, I feel like some people are nervous or unsure when talking to Japanese speakers. They seem to focus too much on the accent, makes the conversation awkward. Well, yeah, and that's the thing when everybody's being careful, right? And everybody wants to be nice too, right? So there's a balance because it's like, I remember once when I first went to Japan, there was a bunch of exchange students. There was like 11 of us. And one of the guys was from New Zealand. And I had never met a New Zealand person before in my life, age 18, 19, right? I didn't understand what he said once. I said, what? And he said it again. And I didn't understand again. And I said, what? And he said it again. And I did not understand him 3 times. I was so embarrassed. I never had I never had spoken to a native speaker and like didn't understand. Like I was so confused. And that was just me not having experience with the Kiwi accent, you know? So imagine like you guys, here's me, I had been speaking English for like 18 years or something like that. And like all of a sudden I don't understand it. Yeah, because the different Englishes are that different. They are almost like different languages depending on, how far away the accents are from each other. So guys, it is so important for you to work on your accent. And if you gotta like slow down in order to work on it, that's okay. I think that another thing, and this is why I have the lessons, you guys can check out my lessons if you want, but there's another thing about native English with 쇼리하고 파탄. And so one of the things when you read English, you'll be like, I am reading a book and each word must be said independently from the other word. And that's just not how English sounds when you actually talk. When you actually speak, everything kind of like blends together, right? And so when you actually talk, it's not when you actually, it's like when you, right? And so we have these patterns that when certain words come together, they always kind of make this kind of like, what are you going to do today? Kind of like different sounding thing. So everybody understands the written English, like British person, Australian person, California person, New York person. When we read and we write, that's the same. But when we speak, every single person is saying the word in a different way. And one of the best words to like realize that is like the word water, because depending on your accent, it's almost like, wait, what? Like a British person might say, or something like that. And it's just like, whoa, that doesn't even sound like English to me. So English is more complicated than you realize. All right. And all of us, have been native speakers, have been doing this for so many years that, like British English for me is really the only time I ever really heard real British English besides the Beatles and the interviews that I saw on TV is I finally met like a British guy in Yokohama. Two. I've met a couple, but I just remember like the first one. And the other guy from Birmingham, Andy. God, man, I would like to see him. But he's in South Carolina, I think. He married American. Anyway, he said so many things that I just had no idea. It was like my first real British experience, like in reality. And it was just like, oh my God, you guys, what are you even saying? I don't understand. Literally. So if I am a native speaker and I'm telling you British English is sometimes hard for me, I'm better now, a lot better. Or Kiwi English is hard for me, I'm better now, trust me. Like it was really bad a long time ago. So if I'm having trouble, what about you? Yeah. So one of the things that I like to say is that who is my ideal student? ね。国内育ち、それで英語ネイティブの訛り区別できない人。国内育ち、英語ネイティブのそれぞれのアクセント区別できない人、ぜひ俺の3ステップ学習法聞いてくださいね。 That's it. Because it's really that simple. で、イギリス英語とアメリカ英語の違いわかんないんだけど、みたいなね。じゃあ、君の英語はどうだろうね。Like, it's really, for me, that simple. So, if you want confidence with your accent, アクセントじゃなんだろうね。いつもなんかアピールのやり方がわかんないね、俺。だってみんななんか英語ネイティブみたいに喋れるようになりたいって言うかもわからんけど、英語ネイティブだけって言ったらなんかちょっとおかしいよ。だってイギリス英語もあるし、アメリカ英語もあるしね。だから、英語ネイティブの目標ってちょっとずれてるよね。ちょっと足りないって感じですね。So, what is your goal? And then ほとんどの、勉強してる人、上級者でも初心者でもね、多分目標ちゃんと決まってないと思うんだよね。喋れるようになりたいって言うんだけど、なんでみたいな。誰と喋りたいのみたいな。それでアクセントに関してどうすんのみたいなね。アクセントって話す相手何友達英語を勉強したいだけじゃん。だから教科書ちょうだいって感じでも、No! That's not gonna get you anywhere. Sorry. 申し訳ない。ね。So yeah, that's why I say I think that the beautiful thing about doing the live stream like this is that I'm giving you the truth as far as I understand it. IMO, IMHO. それでね、まあ話す機会がない後輩に、じゃあどうぞ、Zoom してくださいね。リンクをシェアしたんだけど。Then what I think happens is a lot of people realize like, 話す機会ですけれども、ちょっと勇気ない。恥ずかしい。シャイなの。Well, then maybe you should give up? Is that what you're saying? Because like, if you're going to talk, you have to talk with somebody? 違うか。And so this is why, like, I really think that the most Japanese people today, May 11th, Sunday morning, 2025, they might have the desire, I want to speak English, right? Which is fine, which is great. But that is not enough. なんかその世界観が足りないって感じですね。狭いって感じですね。英語喋りたいって。だからまあ、that is literally why I'm making this live stream. And I want to share this message every single week if I have to. But the more of you that listen to this and kind of まあ考え直すっていうかわかんないけど but you listen, you think about it, then you try it, experiment, right? Go out there, work on your accent, listen, mimic, right? Like, people, how do I learn? Mimic ね、モノマネって子供でもできるから、それなんだろうね、子供できるじゃん、ね、モノマネって。でも大人になってから、そのモノマネの才能がなくなるって感じ？特に日本人だね。But like, it's really like, if I say like, ドゥルルルドゥル、君はドゥルルルドゥルって言うべきだね。モノマネって。If I say banana, you say banana. ね。That's it. That's all you gotta do. And that moving the voice and the vocal cords and the mouth and the tongue, that's where you polish, right? だから磨くね。ちょっと言いにくい。じゃあ、try it again. 百戦錬磨ね。So you gotta just kind of like polish. Okay, now that I'm good with my polishing, now I'm going to try it in a conversation. And so you say your new word, and then you listen. You get the feedback. Did they understand? Did they not understand? Okay, go back to the drawing board. How do I say it again? Work on it, polish it, have a conversation. Did it work? Did they listen? Get the feedback. Then polish, mimic the next word, polish, and it just keeps going around, and it's never going to end. ぐるぐるして、まあ、上達するよね。So, but I guess that's the key, right? If you're just going around doing the same thing over and over again, then you're never going to get anywhere. You're not really doing anything, and then you're not doing anything. You're not studying efficiently enough. You're not going to get better. Then it's like, well, you're just killing your time. And are we just killing time right now, or are we really getting somewhere? So if you're really getting somewhere, then you kind of listen to things, and then you're going to mimic them, and then you're going to say something in a real conversation. And then that ぐるぐるぐるって、まあ、上達の気持ちも入れて、こんな感じがしますね。違うか。So, 正しく勉強すると上達します。正しくない勉強方法にすると、まあ、ぐるぐるしちゃうね。違うか。So, anyway, it is now past the time. How much for the tuition fee, Shinji? It depends. Private lesson is a little more expensive. The group lesson goes for, I'm thinking in dollars because that's just how I think, but I don't think it's in dollars, it's in yen. So it's, and then saying it in English is always hard for me, but the group lesson plus the course, right, is 29,000だと思うね。で、レッスンついてない方が、まあ、1万円ぐらいですけれども、で、プライベートってグループより高いんですけれども、だって、マンツマン的にやるから。but, レッスンって、だって1時間って、もう、君だけに集中するって、it's hardcore だね、みたいな、なんだろう。もう勉強しかできないって感じですね。because it's kind of like a doctor, and like the first lesson, I like evaluate, you know, where you're at. Like the first lesson, basically, I just listen more to like what you're saying, you know, and then so I listen, and then basically just kind of see where you're at. But then once I listen, then we start talking about what exactly you need to do for your English, right? So if it's like, oh, you should be working on like some basic pronunciation, you should listen to this course, you should, you know, do this practice, listen, you know, like vocal practice or whatever. But まあ発音とか全然大丈夫だったらね、じゃあ省略パターンはどうですかみたいなね。だってそのコースもついてるからね。Like, how do you speak with like the California accent, right? So what are you going to do today ね。What are you going to do today って言えなかったら、まあじゃあそれを練習しましょうって感じですね。Then, after you get the basics down, this is where you move into the second stage of like, 俺の世界観ね。Where you become like beginner より、会話できる人ね、になる。So, a conversationalist. But conversationalist has different problems. So, like the beginner, you're worried about pronunciation, 省略パターン、intonation ね。Real basic stuff. But, それしっかりしてから、じゃあ、自己紹介上達しましょうね。それとも、まあ自分の仕事のアピール、セールスの、ね、まあビジネスイングリッシュとかね、わかんないんですけれどもね、なんかまあ、映画、字幕なしで映画見たいとか、なんだろうね、目標いろいろあるから、でも君の目標に関していろいろ言うからね。それで、one of the big ones that I think is 話す相手がいない。どうすればいいか。で、それで東京でも大阪でも、まあ外国人結構いるから、まあなんだろうね。日本にいる外国人に声かけるセリフとかアプローチもそれも教えるね。だって、it's so easy.Like, I always like sharing like the video when I was in Kyoto. I talked to like 41, more than that. Some people didn't make the video, but I talked to like 50 people basically, easily. And it was really easy. You just, もう白人って感じ？なんか黒人でもね、なんかスペイン人って感じだよね。Like, you just see them, you're like, oh, 観光客やん、この人。And if you just say what's up, they'll talk to you. Like, it's so easy. I swear. So, guys, don't think about this too hard. because anything that I say in the lesson is like, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, right? It's just that in a lesson, I'm going to give you specific phrases, words, and advice for your life, not general, right? That's why I kind of don't like doing a live stream because I don't know what your level is, you know? 君は初心者か？そうしたら、じゃあ、最初からちょっと復習しましょうか。それか、上級者か。Well, what are you going to do about your business presentation? Yeah, I don't know. And that's why I say I hate doing the live stream in a sense, just because my advice is just so general. Blech. Just kind of well, listen to somebody, right? But as soon as I talk to somebody, it's like, oh, this is what you need to do. So much more clear, right? But in the meantime, general advice, I would say every single human on the planet must do this in one way or another. So that is enough for now. I hope it was a good time for everybody because, just listening big little speech that I gave you was enough to give you something to think about, right? But more than anything, カイ先輩はね、英語を教えてない。どうやって英語をどうやって学ぶことを、シェアしてますね。So, big difference, right? This is a pen みたいなレッスンじゃなくて、なんだろうね。This is a、アクセントに関してね、This is a pen ね、こうやって繰り返して、This is a 発音に関してリハーサルして、勉強方法に関して、This is a pen. So, this is an accent. This is a case. This is what it sounds like. This is a mouse. これ。This is a mouse. I mean, seriously, これだけ、this is a water bottle, right? There's just so many things, right? This is a notebook, right? This is a ball, right? This is a 省略パターン入れて、発音入れて、this is a. It's amazing to me how anything is accent. But so many people don't pay attention to that. And especially native speakers, they have no idea what they're saying, ever. Some of the worst teachers are people that don't speak a second language. 第二言語勉強したことないのに、なんで英語を教えてんのって感じですね。Anyway, I say the same thing over and over. I apologize. But I really want as many people to know this as possible. So, moving forward, doing the live stream weekly like this really gives you guys an opportunity to speak if you want it. And then 2, it gives me an opportunity to say something new if it happens to happen. But at the same time, I always got to talk about the fundamentals because I know that there's thousands of you that need to hear the fundamentals on how to learn a second language, which is right here. So I will keep saying this, but like I said, having you guys aboard, so I have something else to say, some new ways to talk about it. It's always more interactive and fun when you guys join. So hopefully keeping the Zoom lesson, fresh. I'm going to do this every week. And hopefully you guys can join in it. But in the meantime, that is enough for today. I do appreciate your paying attention. And if you guys do want to learn more with Kai Senpai, then please, 俺の3ステップ学習法をご覧 くださいね。で、そっから俺のレッスンとかね、そう情報が俺のサイトに、書いてるからどうぞ、連絡してください。So I've never met a teacher who is so ambitious, cutting edge, and thoughtful when it comes to teaching English. Thank you for everything. Wow, Shinji, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I do because I am pretty ambitious. I thank you. I appreciate you recognizing that. And you know what? You know what's crazy? I have an app, and that app, I had 2 stages. I was going to, 1, release the app to Japan, and then 2, I was going to release the app to the world. But the world requires English kind of like explanations and stuff, and so the app isn't completed. It's missing a few like English videos or whatever. Long story short, I can't do the coding. So I have so many things that I actually want to do, but the app needs a lot of work if it's going to go around the world. One of the things it really needs is an Android version. So basically fixing the app is going to be thousands of dollars, and it's like a side project, but I wish it was my main project. So anyway, that's a complicated story for another day, but yeah, I'm pretty ambitious. I wish that I could be kind of doing this like around the world, but that's just like the, how do you say, like reality, I guess, that like for whatever reason, I feel this obligation to return the favor to everybody in Japan for all the kind people that I met when I was learning Japanese, like especially my host family, my host father, my host mother, my host brother, my host little brother, my host grandpa, my host grandma, my host uncles, my host aunts, my host cousins, like immediately them, thank you so much for the experience you gave me. Then all my teachers at school, like Kotani sensei, Tsujita sensei. I mean, it's been a while, but so many people, just so, Atsugi sensei, rest in peace. Like there's just so many people that were really nice to me, for lack of a better word. And I was such a stupid young kid. Like, I don't want to say regrets. I was just so young. I just didn't really understand things. But like, I wish I could have done a lot of things better, I wish I could have been a better person, stuff like that. But all of that, I was really lazy. Especially when it got summertime, to be honest. Like, it was so hot and so humid, I stopped moving. Like, I remember really being in shock from Japanese summers. I never experienced that in my life, and I kind of just like shut down. So, yeah, so, I could have been different a little bit, but then again, like, I'd never experienced a brutal. To me, Japanese summers are inhumane, for lack of a better word. But that's just me. So anyway, yeah, I feel this kind of like natural feeling to give back to so many people that have given to me in a sense, right? So anyway, 日本語できるし, so I kind of focus, in teaching Japanese people for now. But everything that I'm saying, when I went to Vietnam, I was like, oh, you guys are learning English too, like everything that I'm saying could be shared to Vietnamese people, Korean people, you know what I mean? Like, it's really like learning English is like such an international kind of like task for so many different people. And there's so many teachers out there that say so many incorrect or bad things that don't really help people. So it's just like, man, I really got to get my message out there. But how do I get my message out there? Because it's so different And a lot of people don't really get it. They're like, oh, you're just being mean. It's like, no. Oh, you guys don't get it. Okay, let me try and explain again. Accent, listen, mimic, right? So anyway, Shinji, I do appreciate it. Maybe one day I can open up a school in Japan or something, like a real school or something like that. But I don't know. That's a little more. I don't know where to start. Like how do I start? Like a physical school, that'd be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, where do you even start? Like rent a place? Maybe I can ask Chat GPT. Anyway, おはようございます。松み違うか。Boy, talk about rusty Japanese, but good morning. Thank you so much for coming by. And to be honest, I'm on my way out. It's Saturday night, and I don't want to say bedtime, but I got plans, and I got to go. I really do hope that I go to Japan soon. There's one other thing that I haven't talked about. I'm not going to talk about it. It's more channel stuff. So let me just say I'm reorganizing a few things with the channel. So I'm kind of busy, kind of like doing back end stuff, But once that gets situated, hopefully in the next few weeks, basically, then I'll have the free time to be able to go to Japan and then meet with everybody. We do a live stream. Hopefully I'll do meetups like in Tokyo or something like that. Maybe I'll have the time to go to like Osaka or Kyoto or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. It just kind of depends on how well I set up the channel and everything, because and I'll go ahead, anybody that's listening that really understands this stuff, but it's like, 10,000 people a day watch my channel. So it's like, okay, what about, how do I invite them to actually learning more, right? Because all of this is about me offering my services so you actually learn, so you actually get better. And the more people that hear about it, the better. So how do you do that, right? And it's like, oh, well, you just don't get up and say things and go blah, blah, blah. You have to have a strategy. You have to talk about this. You got to talk about that. And everything has to have stages, right? And so doing these kind of like deep dive lessons that we're doing right now, do you think 1 million people would watch this? You think so? Because, なんだっけ、芸能人、女優ね、10人の、女優の英語を採点しますみたいなね。あれは、何人だっけ ?1 億人だっけ ?Like, how do you say? 1万、10万、1000万人だっけ ?1000 万 1 million people, like 1.5 million basically saw the actress video. So it's like, wow, that's pretty amazing, right? But then you come to the live stream and it's like, I only see like 5 people watching the live stream. And it's like, yeah, well, this is like a deep dive. You know what I mean? Like most people are not going to like understand what I'm saying because I'm talking so normally, which is the irony of all this, right? It's like everything that I'm saying is like elementary school English, It's not that hard. I mean, okay, sometimes it's a little high school. If I start talking about like the business and the real pedagogy, then now we're getting into the college level kind of like English. But like for the most part, what I'm saying is anybody can do it kind of stuff, right? Elementary school level English is spoken in reality, right? And the gap between the real English that I speak and like the English that's taught in schools, that gap is so big. でもほとんどの日本人がそれ意識してないの。そのギャップ。現実で使ってる英語と、教室の中で使ってる英語のギャップが広すぎて。でもみんな知らんやん。いや、英語じゃん、これ。学校行ってるし、先生もいるし、教科書もあるし、これ英語やろ。いやー、どうだろうね。英語ですけれども、標準語的な Good morning, thank you for listening to this lesson. I am going to teach you about English. If you please open your book to page 27みたいな喋り方は現実で使っとらんよ。So, what? And it's like, yeah, like this whole thing that I'm doing right now is so basic. It's not complicated. いや、でもそれでもカイ先輩の英語ネイティブの普通に喋るとなんかわかんないじゃんみたいな。早い。I don't know, like really? Is it? It's pretty normal to me, but that's why the conversation's needed because like if you guys give me the feedback, I'm like, oh, I see. With feedback, then I know, oh, you're not understanding or this or that. So anyway, that's why the conversation is so important, not just for you, but the conversation is important for me too, because I get feedback as like, if you're even listening or not, if you're actually using this, if you're implementing it, because you're not going to learn anything on the internet. Like, I'll say it again, you're not going to learn anything on the internet. I learned Japanese before the internet existed. And that's why I say, 1000人より1000人ね. I didn't learn from a teacher. I learned from 1,000 people. I learned by walking around, going outside, talking to people, getting into trouble, losing my wallet, hopping on the wrong train, trying to talk to girls, everything, talking to Yankee. なんかヤンキーと話すのがすごい楽しかったよね。だって俺、アメリカ人だから俺ヤンキーやんって感じだったのね。で、本当のヤンキーがいて、お前はヤンキーかみたいなね。俺もヤンキーやんって、アメリカやからみたいなね。おーみたいなね。Like, you just bro out. In reality, not on a video, not on a monitor, not on the internet. So the whole message that I'm really trying to say is let's get off the internet. Go into reality and have a conversation. So yeah, guys, for now, for today, for tonight, this is going to be the end and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But if this was Japan, I would say, hey, I'm done. I'm going to be over here in Tokyo or I'm going to be here in Kyoto. And then like, it'd be really nice to meet everybody. But, I'm still in California working on a few things on the back end. So a few more weeks, hopefully I'll be able to get to Japan and then we'll have a conversation when I get there. But in the meantime, got to do what you got to do and you got to nurture every day, even if it is the internet, it's okay for now, like what are you going to do, but hopefully you get into the future and then, Matsumi, I was right, me, right? So into the future, hopefully the next steps are getting off the internet, finding somebody in reality, and then having a conversation, about things that you really want to talk about. So that is the plan. That is the goal. And in the meantime, I will talk to you later. I will do another live stream soon. I will be uploading more videos relatively soon. And then for those that do need to study a little bit more, they need to review like the basics or, whatever it is that you need to do, but like it's review, you should start with this video right here. One of my most deep dive videos available. So check that video out. If you want to learn more, if you want to learn with me, go to my website and then we can talk from there. In the meantime, I do thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. If I was in Japan, I would probably keep going with the live stream and keep talking. I think if I was in Japan, I would probably do a live stream for 3 or 4 hours just because, one, it's so easy. Two, it's easy for me to talk for 3 or 4 hours. And then two, it just gives more time for you guys to interact and come and join and then leave too. Like that's the other thing that's crazy about doing things on the internet is just like, you just stay doing a live stream for like an hour and like 100 people, 200 people just stop by, like if I go down to 2nd Street, there's not 100 people that just like come by within an hour. You know what I mean? So crazy. The internet's crazy. and it is cool to like connect with you guys, but it would be so much better to do it in reality, right? Not on the internet. So it is time to go. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you soon. You got the link right there. And look forward to my next video. Be coming out soon. I will be releasing another video this week after the back end stuff gets set up. So I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. No. It's nighttime for me. Sweet dreams for me. You guys have a good day. Go out, walk around the park. Maybe look for English speakers and get out there and try and say something new. Say hi and try to connect. Have some fun and make some memories. And best case scenario, make a friend. All right. Take it easy. Peace out. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye. じゃあね。ピース。ストップ。